Hi guys, we're here again. We're here with Nicole. Nicole, tell us who you are and what you do and a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so my name's Nicole and I own Greatest Worth, which is an online business, and it's been mainly online for 3 years. So I haven't had to do a ton of pivoting with all of this, but it basically what I do is I'm a money coach, and I call myself a money coach because what I do is I help people kind of guide them to making a life they love in all areas of their life, but starting with their money. Because for me, and in my journey, which started about 10 years ago, where I ended up paying off a ton of debt that I had, and realizing that that debt was really holding me back in my life and not allowing me to go after the things that I really felt were important and valuable to me. So that was really kind of where this all stemmed, and how I realized that, like, yes, there are a lot of pillars, I call them pillars of life, that are important in order to feel fulfilled and like you're living your best life. So the pillars I say are your work or your calling, your home or your space, relationships, and your health, and then also money. And so I say that money is really the foundation to all of them. Even though, you know, some people, when they hear that, they're like, that sounds so greedy or weird. But honestly, money is what allows us to be the best, to go after everything we want in all of those areas. So that's why I tell people, that's why I call myself a money coach. And that's why I tell people to kind of start with their money.
Yeah, it's such a woo-woo thing. A lot of people have that wrong relationship with money, and to me, it's freedom. I've had this conversation with Chandra Q a few times. I'm like, I want money, and I want to be able to make it, and so I can have the resources to do all the things that I need to do, and you know, it's just part of it. Yeah.
Well, I think you hit, on something that's super important, like having a healthy relationship with money and changing that mindset, because a lot of us have old wounds from, our childhoods or how our parents did things, what we've witnessed. That's one of the biggest stressors in relationships. So having a healthy, relationship with money is so crucial. And we're all feeling that right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
People that have savings, the people that have diversified their income, are better suited to deal with something crazy like that we're going through right now. So you haven't had to pivot a ton in your business per se. Are you seeing a drop in, clientele or engagement, or are you seeing an increase actually as more people are stressed about money and want to design a new path forward for themselves?
It's been interesting, because I feel like it's kind of been both. Like, I have this group coaching that I do where really quickly a lot of people were like, I can't do this every month anymore. I can't do the monthly payment. And I was like, cool, no problem. But then also these past 4 weeks, I took the time to create a whole e-course that's basically specifically for an emergency, creating a budget in an emergency. It felt so important to me to share this information, because people are kind of almost, they're in, what's the word, where you're triaging. They're triaging their life, right?
Right.
So much is coming at them at once. They've lost their jobs. They are homeschooling their children. They're everything is happening. And so honestly, money is not a concern right now, right? You don't even have time to think about your money. So, but it felt to me, I'm like, well, if you start paying attention to your money now, you can start.
Then you won't be in the hole.
Yes. So I created this course to kind of help people get the clarity and kind of confidence within this emergency with their money. So I did take the time to do that. And I actually just this week launched it. And so that's been awesome. And I should say I created it on a pay what feels good. So it's all the way down to free. If people need it to be free, they can just have it. No worries. But then also, I'm getting a lot of people who are paying me something for it, which has been great too.
Right.
Amazing. Well, that's great to hear. So that this COVID did actually prompt you to do, I'm sure you've been thinking about something like this, right?
Well, yes and no, not necessarily this topic, but then, with this happening, I was like, this needs to be out there. This information needs to be out there. And so it's not just like because I feel like money is holistic, like it's not just the money actions that we're talking about in the course, but in there I have like a movement video every module. So it's like you need to be exercising, you need to like move your body, and then there's like
the flow of
journaling
things,
prompts.
the flow of things,
It's like all the parts. So it's not just the money part. So that felt really important to me to help people to see like, no, this is like your life. This is everything. This is not just your money.
And had you had an e-course before? Had you created one before?
I was actually in the midst of creating one, but it was completely different. It was actually, people had been asking me to like, how do I teach my kids about money? So that one's like halfway done, but I didn't finish it yet because I'm like, this seems way more important right now.
That's excellent. We did the same thing. We kind of hit the ground and like, we wanted to create online content and have a membership and premium content and e-courses, all the things. And, this prompted us. We had to build the amazing, platform. And I same thing. I had a burst one day and I recorded the whole thing in one day. And, it has 8 lessons and it was super fun and awesome. And, it revealed that that's something that I definitely want to keep doing. A lot of what we do is coaching and teaching people how to market, how to build a better brand.
Right.
And so, people need different ways to consume that information. And so e-course, I'm very excited to check out your e-course. I think that sounds amazing.
Awesome.
Well, because they might miss the opportunity of an in-person event of some sort, but you still have the resources that you can tap into if you need to online,
Yes.
Both ways, because we have the space, and it's great if people come to see it because it is a wonderful space, but that doesn't take you away from not having access to the resources that might help you. So
Sure.
So as you look at the rest of 2020, are you kind of day by day, or are you planning ahead and looking at your year? Like what are you going to do in your business the rest of this year?
Well, I kind of had it planned out. And then with all of this, I'm like, let's just pivot everything. So I sat back down basically week 1, probably like you guys. And I'm like, what should I do? Like, what would be helpful for people right now? Especially because I am in the money space and I know like it's going to pick up. Like people are like, going to be like, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with money? So, and that clearly we're in a recession, whether or not people see it yet, like it's happening. And so like I knew for myself that was going to happen. So one of the things that has been on my mind is to create a virtual summit. And so that has been like on my mind forever. And now I'm just doing it, like making it happen. So, and that's a really big undertaking and feels huge, but really exciting to like make all these connections and to bring all these amazing people together, and then to offer this information. With virtual summits, you can offer such amazing information at a really cheap price
because you don't have overhead. I attended a conference. I shared with Chandra because I was so inspired. I was in my bed the whole weekend. It was Saturday and Sunday. It was a design conference, and it was amazing because they had the same speakers that they would have had from all over the world, but within the the interaction with the host. And the host was just hilarious. So it was, but the things that like they had the workshops that they were going to have anyways in the classes. So, they would just share the screen and share whatever. And then there was another that was a mural designer. So she was making the mural as she was talking to the guy and explaining how she was doing it. Like it was kind of somewhat still very inspiring to be part of that.
That's
and
awesome.
It was at no charge to us, which was even more wonderful.
Yes.
And it was just the whole weekend. It was Saturday and Sunday, full on with talks, classes, sharing their work and things like that. And it was super inspiring. It really was. Yeah.
So that's my hope. It feels like that's kind of, because you can't really plan right now. It feels like how do you know what to do? And I was trying to plan like in-person events.
Right.
People were asking.
We had the same thing. Yeah, we had the same thing.
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, now we can't do that. So what is the next best thing for people? So I'm doing a lot of like live videos, stuff like that. And then podcasts, of course, are always free to people and things that I can do. But the summit feels really like inspiring, like you're saying, because I don't know if you guys have ever done the Strengths Finder. Have you ever done that?
I
It's
don't,
like a personality test.
I don't think I have, no.
I love stuff
Um,
like that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, write it down, the Strengths Finder. It's awesome. So there's, I think, like 28 strengths that basically we all have, but you
Right.
take this test and it ranks them for
Right.
you. Like,
Okay.
so you have like a top 5 strengths.
Right.
And my top number 1 strength is one called connectedness, which is literally like, I just love connecting with people and bringing other people together. And then I meet you, and then I'm like, oh, you should meet them. And like, yes,
the connector.
it's that kind of stuff. Yes, I love that. And so just knowing that about myself, I'm like, yes, like this summit is exactly what needs to happen. Right?
Oh yeah. What I was thinking, do you know Jen Alley?
No.
She's a money mindset type person, and she was going to do a workshop at our space when we open back up, whenever that is.
Okay.
She was on the books for May, and May's out the window, but she would be great if you are looking for different speakers, to join.
Yeah, she focuses more in the creative community.
Okay.
Because she's a jewelry designer, so but yeah, I mean, she does it in general, but she always puts the for creatives part in the bottom. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Juliette and I both are the same way, being connectors, and that's something that we're learning through this time. We didn't know we were going to do these awesome entrepreneurial interviews every Friday with people, and we've already done 10, 12.
Yeah, at least. Yeah,
we're up there. And I don't know if there's anything that makes me happier than having like real conversations, like in the moment with people. Just how are you dealing with this, and how are you just reevaluating your life and your business? So it's a great time. And then people like you, everybody's got their different expertise, their different strengths. Like you're talking about the Strength Finder. It's such an opportunity for all of us to tap into the life we really, really want, and envision that, and then put those pieces in place.
Yeah.
Now you have the time.
Yeah, that's literally, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting this time to be such an introspective time. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it has really been a time of just like figuring myself out and trusting myself more and going after things more. It's been a really beautiful time for me.
It really has. It really has for us, I think, too.
Yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
we have done I've done personally and with the business, like things I don't want to do. The one thing that with Tiffany, we settle. What do we say? No, we say no to things. Repeat after me. You gotta say no, because we tend to want to help a lot, and of course that gets you in sometimes into binds.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just gotta say no. It's the healthiest way.
Yeah.
And so so we're like, we gotta say no.
Good to know yourself.
Yeah.
So, what tips are you sharing with people financially? Like right now, what can they do? Should they do? A couple things while we have this time. What's some things that people can do to kind of get more comfortable with their relationship with their money?
Okay. So first things first is literally just to have awareness. And the only way that you can get awareness is to start looking at things. So I tell people to just, you can even just start making a list of all of your expenses. So if you don't budget or haven't budgeted in the past, the easiest way to do that is to just look at all your, whatever you use to pay for things. So whether it's a credit card or your debit card, look at the statements for those, and you'll start to see like where your money is going. That's the really important part. You need to know where it's all going, because especially this day and age, everything is automated. And so we forget that we're even paying for things.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so you've got to get the awareness. So the awareness of all the monthly bills, all your subscriptions, all of your like necessary bills even. So like your phone and your utilities and mortgage or rent, whatever you're doing. So just make a list of all of that stuff and then look at it and see like, what of this could I let go of right now? Or what am I paying for right now that like I can't even use because I'm stuck at home? So, things like gym memberships, even though that's scary to like give up, it might be something to consider, especially if you're in a financial bind, right? Like if you really can't afford that right now, it's not okay to put yourself in jeopardy so that you can support this other entity.
Right.
So that's the first thing. And then after that, you know, going through and creating like a needs list versus a wants list. So what of those things are the necessary things you need to survive? So like food and your housing and utilities and transportation, I consider necessary, you know, in this modern culture.
Yeah.
But then everything else kind of needs to move over into the wants. And so you kind of budget for the needs first, and then you add a want into the budget as you can afford it. You know, people have different degrees of being able to afford things right now. People are losing jobs left and right, especially in Asheville. And so you just have to really be conscious of putting more things into your budget if they're not really necessary right now. Because what I tell people is the difference between how much you spend each month and how much you're bringing in is basically like your lifeboat. So like if you make $3,000 a month and you're spending $3,000 a month, there's no lifeboat, right? There's nothing there that's extra or space. There's nothing that's going to give you any breathing room. But if you make $3,000 and you only spend $2,000, you have $1,000 of breathing room, and you can imagine how much different that feels. And how much more you're able to do, or how you can actually like have clarity when you're not burdened by, you know, how am I going to pay my bills next month?
Right, with the stress of
with the stress of it.
Yep.
So those just couple things will make a huge difference.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you jumping on and chatting with us about the monies. I call it the monies.
The monies.
Yeah, keep us posted on your virtual summit, and
we'll share it for you. Yeah.
And when we're back in the space, when we're back, you know, in action, and we'd love to talk, you know, having you do a live workshop with us, and like you said, collaborating and connecting right now. We're making future plans for fall and winter. I mean, that's all we can do right now, and so we want to have some amazing people and events and speakers and workshops and, you know, just growth and learning opportunities for people to get back together and have that feeling of 20 or 30 people in a room, like learning together. I can't wait to do that again.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So yeah, we would love to have you and talk more with you, you know, about those kind of things.
Yes, I would love to. Yes, thank you so much for having me, you guys.